luxury. Yes, this is the Lexus LS 500H. The car is a work of art. You have a massive grille because this car is a lesson on how to integrate a big grille. Are you listening, BMW? It's a fantastic looking grille. You have a spindle shaped grille and you've got the big Lexus logo with the blue surrounds. Obviously it is indicating that it's a hybrid. Does not have fog lights, but it has quite a good usage of chrome because, hey, let's face it, Indians love chrome. Lots of chrome, very big grille, looks very good, and a very aggressive front. Lots of cuts and creases. You've cuts and creases in the bonnet, you've got cuts and creases near the headlight. And let's talk about the headlights. These are fantastic LED units. They look absolutely fantastic, and I'm a big fan of the DRL. There are headlight washers as well. Again, I can never stop praising this car enough. I just love the way this car looks from the front. On the side of the car is when you notice the massive 5.2 meter length of the car. It's absolutely fantastic. You've got cuts and creases all over the car as well. The designers didn't stop designing this car even on the side. Beautifully shaped ORVMs as well, the rear view mirrors, and overall it's great. And you've got sort of chrome around here, chrome here as well, chrome on the door handles. Again, perfect integration of how the car should be flashy yet not overboard. Big fan of the side profile as well, complemented by these beautiful 20-inch alloys that are wrapped on 245, 45 section, and they're 20-inch, but they are full chrome and they look really good, especially not on a day like this because it's raining, but when it's shining, I think this thing adds to the luxury quotient. Once you walk to the rear and you pass the bulky C pillar, you get to the, again, very beautifully crafted rear of the car. You have fantastic LED taillights which have matrix indicators. You have good usage of chrome again around the bumper, which I really like the way Lexus integrated chrome into the car because chrome is a very tricky material to get right. You have the Lexus badge, which again has the blue surrounds because it's a hybrid. You have a small little fin spoiler, which again looks really good. It's very well integrated. In fact, sometimes you might actually think that this is how it was perceived to be from day one with a spoiler. It looks so good. And you've got basic badging that says LS500H and the brand Lexus because I'm sure this brand doesn't have as much awareness as say Merc, Audi, BMW. It has Lexus written. People know what car you're coming in. Again, fabulous designing job by Lexus. There are a variety of ways to open the boot. You can open the boot using the key fob. There's a button on the key fob. There's a button near the driver. There's an electromagnetic tail release as well. But there's a fancy way as well. Slide your foot under the bumper and the boot rises up. It's a little slow though. Then you get access to the 425 litre boot space, which is honestly pretty small for a car of this size. I mean, when I look at the boot, I know instantly I cannot put in too much luggage. And another download, this car does not come with a spare tire or a donut. I tried finding it all over, but the car has the batteries, the fuses and everything, but no spare tire or donut. So the boot is small and there is no spare tire in the back. So you better plan your trips accordingly. Then you can close the door as well. And you'll have a lot of time to finish whatever you're doing because it slowly comes down and closes. So when you get access to the front, you open the massive bonnet supported by struts and you get access to absolutely nothing. Everything has plastic over it. The engine cover has a plastic, everything is plastic or you have no idea what's going on inside. There is, however, Lexus hybrid drive and a huge Lexus logo to let you know what car you're driving. But again, you see nothing, everything is covered, and I guess that's how Luxury Barges works. It was similar in the BMW 7 Series. Inside the Lexus LS 500H, and it's a fabulous place to be. You can see that Lexus designers really put their effort in designing the interiors of this car as well. You've got fantastic finish on the dash, you've got leather all around, and overall I like this color also. Obviously this can be spec'd to other colors as well. You've got the glass panel here. It's just one uniform glass panel. This is the main central display. You've got clock, analog clock, and this little design theme which looks really good, and it blends really well into the AC vents as well. Even this whole theme, multi-line theme, carries on from here and just goes all the way to the edge. It's fantastic design and finishing by Lexus. You've got the AC controls here, the dual zone. You've got old school knobs which actually feel very tactile, which feel really good. You can keep your cup. There's a cup holder, so you can put your phone. You can put a sanitizer. You can put your sanitizer. You can put a drink. You can put your phone. You've got a massive center glove box. So center armrest opens. If you press the button from this side, it opens like this. And if you press this button, it opens like this. Very, very useful. Very, very intuitive. I mean, it's very useful. Obviously, when you press both, it doesn't open from there. I tried. You have the very, very cool looking gear lever. It's a little complex to use at first. You have to slide it around to get. It's not a simple PRND like other cars. You have this haptic touch to get anything done, but more on this later. You've got aluminium finished buttons for the rear blind, for the seat cool massage for the passengers and the driver. You've got a button that can put this car straight into EV mode, and this is for the suspension, air suspension, to raise and lower the car. You still have an old-fashioned CD player, which is still, I don't know why it's there, because I don't know anybody who still uses CD. There is the auto hold button. You have a very old school parking brake button, which I'm not a fan of. You have some buttons here to play with the odometer, the trip meter, which again don't feel very expensive and don't feel at home in a car of this price. This I'm a big fan. So this knob is for changing the mode of the car: custom, normal, sport, sport plus eco. This is for the traction control. Again, very, very innovative. This is the wiper, this is the indicator. Obviously this is a Japanese car, but it is made for the US market, so the indicators and the wiper stalks are the other way around. The steering itself, it's got nice, dark black wood finish with the leather. The finish is awesome, the stitching is awesome, and this aluminium paddles are fantastic to hold, and the click is so satisfying when you press the car. You've got switches for the cruise control, for the audio volume. You can change the MID. However, one downer, and I have a big issue with this with most cars, and more of an issue with this car because it costs so much, is the usage of blank switches. Now you're paying almost 2 crores on road for this car. You have blank switches. I'm sorry, not done. But there are other positives. This car is the Nissin pack, so it's got lot of options and extras. You've got this crystal finish on the door, which looks absolutely fantastic. If I move the seat back, you can see more of the crystal. You can see this handmade design on the door, which is fantastic. This panel is almost floating, but again, it's just fantastic. These little details go a long way, and it just looks fab. One other downer is the sunroof. Now this sunroof, the blind is not electronically controlled. The sunroof is electronic controlled, but the blind is not, which is a big downer for this price, I believe. Everything should be electric. But again, the seats are really nice, and overall it's a fantastic place to be, and you can spend long hours inside driving this car. Yes, this car is meant for being chauffeur driven, but even for self-drive, it's fabulous. The head and legroom is obviously not an issue, and I'm 5'8" and I have tons of issues, a ton of leg space. I have friends who are taller and they also did not have issues. You can see the craftsmanship, and you can obviously see the speaker surrounds, which look absolutely fabulous. It has the branding of Mark & Levinson, which this car has. It's a fabulous 23 speaker setup with a woofer as well. Sounds amazing, and it's just a fabulous place to be. You can just relax here all day. The seats are reclinable. Even the seat base moves, so you can actually literally almost lie down. It's that comfortable. The sunroof, however, does not come till the back. It's only till the front, which is really annoying because then it becomes a little dark, especially with the black Alcantara finish. But again, the windows are big, and you have blinds as well if you want to be in complete isolation from the world. One cool feature, however, is when you play with the screen, there are lots of seat options, and if I select left, I can move the backrest by using the screen, which is really nice. See, I'm just actually really lying down now. And then if I push into the boss mode, as you can see, the front seat is actually moving forward, and it's going to go into full boss mode. It's going full stretch. So this becomes from business class to first class. It actually goes into first class. That's how good it is. And I can raise it as well. So there's also a leg rest as well, which I can raise. As you can see. Wow, this is now first class travel, and I don't think it can get better than this. So now I'm behind the wheel of the Lexus LS500H. Now I know this car is mostly for being chauffeur driven in the back, and I've showed you guys in the back what the seat and the luxury is. But now let's get behind the wheel. So let's get the facts out of the way. This is a 3.5 liter V6 mated to a hybrid motor. So combined it has about 352 horsepower, which helps this car have a 0 to 100 time of under 6 seconds. So this car can go fast if it's needed. You have to move into D, use the funny gear lever, which is complicated for no good reason. It's actually very difficult to get it right the first time. Set off, and the car starts off in EV mode. Let me just turn on the AC. So the car just starts off in EV mode, and it's completely silent. I mean, you can just move along. You know, people beside you don't even know that the car is moving. It's just so smooth and so silent. And the petrol motor just kicked in, and nobody can tell that the petrol motor has just kicked in. That's how beautiful the integration of the hybrid system is. I mean, obviously, let's be honest, Toyota and Lexus get it right all the time. When you drive it, you realize the length, the front hood is pretty big, so you have to be very careful while managing the car through, you know, tight spaces. Obviously this car has parking sensors and front cameras, rear cameras, 360 cameras, so it's not that difficult to imagine tight spaces, but you still have to keep an eye out for, you know, people who can just come out of gaps, because it can be scary to maneuver this big car. Once you drive, you realize the steering is extremely light in city speeds, and actually makes driving this big car much easy. And you know, it's actually grateful that Lexus provided such a light steering in this car. Obviously it weighs up beautifully when the speeds build up. I have taken it to some good speeds and it builds up really well, so that's a very positive thing. And then when you put your foot down, you get this very nice silky smooth V6 noise. Obviously this is mated to a CVT, so because it's a CVT, all it does is it holds the revs near the red line. It doesn't actually shift like a DSG or a torque converter or a manual for that matter. And it sounds weird, but this thing can really move quick if you want to, if you really push it, because it has the battery assist hybrid as well, so that works really well. You can see the turning radius is massive, so you have to plan before you take U-turns. And you just I'm barely touching the throttle at 10%, 15% throttle, and the car just sets off so nice. The ride is fantastic. It's extremely soft, and you know, you can take it over bumps and you won't feel anything. I think this actually rides better than the 7 Series and the Jaguar XJ. I have not tried out the new latest S-Class, but this is probably better than the 7 Series and the XJ, which is commendable because those cars are pretty good to ride. But this is so comfy and it's laid back. So this is what the Lexus and Toyota, you know, brand portrays: the laid back, the ease to drive, the ease to own. It's so nice. It's so fantastic. And you have the power. As you said, I just put it down. And look at that, wow, it just pulls, it pulls. I'm doing some crazy speeds. Wow. And the braking is good as well. Pedal feel is really good, but when you brake hard, you do feel the mass of this car because it is very heavy due to the, you know, hybrid pack this car has. It's 2300 or something odd kilos, which is extremely heavy considering the 7 Series is only 1700 kilos, just for, you know, a benchmark. So again, it's heavy, it's got heft, but it can dance if you ask it to. It's very easy. Steering is light, brakes are good, ride is good, engine is good, and the best part is because of the hybrid motor, you get great fuel economy as well. So I know fuel economy is not something that is of top priority in a car like this, but if you drive it sanely, you can easily get 9-10 kmpl in the city, which is pretty commendable for a car of this size. It's actually really nice. And the whole practicality of this car is good because it's got air suspension, so if you lift the car up, you will never scrape. Trust me, I've taken this car to some very broken roads and I haven't scraped once. That's how good the management of the suspension of this car. You can never scrape this car if you do it right. I mean, again, it's so easy to drive, and that's why I might just end up buying this car or picking this car over its rivals, because of the ease and the comfort this car provides over the others. In conclusion then, the Lexus LS500H, it's not a car you buy with your brain, it's a car you buy with your heart. This is for the person who sets out from home decided from day one they want a Lexus, and this is it. It has a lot of comfort, it's extremely good looking, and it drives really, really well. The downsides are that it's not as comfortable as say the S-Class. This might not have the most space in the rear, or it might not be as luxurious with tech compared to its rivals, because its rivals are updated and this isn't updated. However, there is a new version that is due globally, and I hope that comes to India as well. And obviously we have to mention the price. This car is not competitively priced at all. With the 7 Series being around 1.5 crores and the S-Class with the CBU being about 2.2 CR, but again that has a lot of tech and a lot of styling, and it's the latest model. This being priced at 1.9 CR, it's a little difficult to convince the customer to go for this one. But again, as I said, with all the pros it has and the reliability and the looks, I think this might actually be my choice. And it's kudos to Lexus for making such a fabulous package of a car. I'm totally in love with it, and I think you would too. Everybody should have a go if they can in this car. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time. Bye bye.